Captain Lee Hyun sat in his command chair watching the stars drift past the viewport. The mining ship New Seoul moved slowly through space, carrying its precious cargo of rare minerals. 3 months of hard work in the asteroid fields had filled their cargo holds. Now they were heading home to Earth Colony 7. The bridge was quiet except for the soft hum of engines. Hyun liked these peaceful moments. At 42 years old, he had spent half his life in space. He knew how quickly peace could turn to danger out here in the dark between stars. Engineer Park Soo-jin walked onto the bridge carrying a data pad. Her coveralls were stained with grease from working in the engine room. She had been fixing a cooling system problem for the past hour. "Captain, the engines are running smooth now," she said. "We should reach home in 5 days if nothing else breaks down." Hyun nodded. Soo-jin was the best engineer he had ever worked with. She could fix anything with spare parts and determination. The crew trusted her completely. Pilot Kim Tae-ho turned from his control station. His young face looked worried. "Captain, I am picking up something strange on the sensors." "What kind of strange?" Hyun asked. "There is a ship following us. It has been keeping the same distance for the past 2 hours. When we speed up, it speeds up. When we slow down, it slows down." Hyun felt his stomach tighten. In 20 years of space travel, ships that followed you were never good news. He stood up and walked over to Tae-ho's station. "Show me," he said. Tae-ho pointed to a small dot on his screen. "It is staying exactly 2 million kilometers behind us. That distance is too perfect to be accidental. Can you tell what kind of ship it is?" "The signature is not in our database. It is definitely not human." Dr. Choi Yoo-na entered the bridge at that moment. The ship's medical officer had been checking on crew member Oh Min-ho, who had hurt his hand in the machine shop. She was a small woman, but everyone respected her calm manner in emergencies. "Captain, what is happening?" she asked. Min-ho said the crew is getting nervous. "We have a shadow," Hyun said simply. Yoo-na looked at the sensor display. Her face became serious. "Pirates? Maybe. Or something worse." Hyun had heard stories from other captains. There were things in deep space that hunted ships for sport. Alien races that saw humans as entertainment. Most people thought these were just scary stories told in space bars. But Hyun had learned to believe scary stories in his line of work. He activated the ship's communication system. "All crew to stations. This is not a drill. We may have company." The New Seoul had 12 crew members. They were miners and engineers, not soldiers. But they had trained for emergencies. Every human ship that traveled in deep space had to be ready for trouble. Security Chief Bae Ji-woo arrived on the bridge first. He was a big man with scarred hands from years of dangerous work. Before joining the mining crew, he had served in the Colonial Defense Force. "What do we have, Captain?" he asked. "Unknown ship following us for 2 hours. Too close to be friendly, too far to be traitors." Ji-woo studied the sensor data. His military training showed in the way he analyzed the information. "Their position is perfect for an attack run. They could be on us in minutes if they wanted." "Why? Are they waiting?" Soo-jin asked. "Good question," Hyun said. "Tae-ho, try to contact them." The pilot opened communication channels. "Unknown vessel, this is the mining ship New Seoul. Please identify yourself." They waited. Only static came back. "Try again," Hyun ordered. "Unknown vessel, you are following too close to our ship. Please change course or identify your intentions." Still nothing. Hyun made a decision. "Take us to emergency speed. Let's see what they do." Tae-ho's hands flew over his controls. The New Seoul's engines roared to life. The ship jumped forward like a startled animal. On the sensor screen, the following ship immediately matched their speed increase. It stayed exactly the same distance behind them. "Definitely not friendly," Ji-woo said. Dr. Yoo-na was studying her medical scanner. "I am detecting unusual energy readings from their ship. The patterns are not like anything in our files." Alien technology, Sujin said. More advanced than ours. Hyun felt the old, familiar calm that came over him in dangerous situations. Fear was natural, but panic would get them all killed. He had kept his crew alive through meteor storms, equipment failures, and space pirates. He would find a way through this too. Jiwoo, get the emergency supplies ready. Yuna, prepare the medical bay for possible casualties. Sujin, I want full power to engines and shields. Taeho, plot a course to the nearest station. Captain, Taeho said, the nearest station is 4 days away at maximum speed. Then we better hope our fuel holds out. The crew worked quickly and quietly. They had practiced these procedures many times. Hyun watched them with pride. These were not trained warriors, but they were professionals who knew their jobs. Suddenly, the sensor alarms began ringing. The unknown ship was moving. Captain, they are accelerating, Taeho reported, moving to intercept course. How long until they reach us? At their current speed, 15 minutes, Hyun thought quickly. The new Soul was a mining ship, not a warship. It had basic shields and no weapons except mining equipment. Against an advanced alien vessel, they had almost no chance in a straight fight. But humans had survived by being clever, not by being the strongest. Maybe there was another way. Sujin, can we dump cargo? Yes, sir. The cargo bay doors are working. Good. When they get close, we might need to create a distraction. The unknown ship was getting bigger on their screens. As it came closer, they could see it was unlike any human vessel. It was dark and angular, built for speed and hunting. Weapon ports were visible along its hull. Definitely military, Jiwoo said, and definitely not here to talk. The communication system suddenly crackled to life. A voice spoke in accented but understandable human language. Human vessel, you will stop your engines and prepare to be boarded. You have been chosen for the great hunt. Consider it an honor. The transmission ended. Hyun looked around the bridge at his crew. They were scared, but ready. These people had worked together for 3 years. They trusted each other completely. Well, he said quietly, I guess we know what they want. What are your orders, Captain? Jiwoo asked. Hyun smiled grimly. They want to hunt us? Let's give them a hunt they will never forget. The alien ship moved closer like a predator approaching wounded prey. Captain Lee Hyun watched it grow larger on the main screen. He had seen many dangerous things in space, but this felt different. This felt personal. Captain, they are powering up some kind of weapon, Taeho reported from his pilot station. His young hands shook slightly as he worked the controls. Steady, Taeho, Hyun said calmly. Fear is natural. Panic will kill us. The weapon fired. It was not a killing shot. Instead, blue energy washed over the new Soul like lightning. Every system on the ship flickered and died for a moment. Then emergency power kicked in, bathing the bridge in red light. EMP blast, Engineer Sujin called out from her station. They knocked out our main engines. We are dead in space. Dr. Yuna checked her medical scanner. No radiation danger to the crew. They want us alive. Security Chief Jiwoo was already moving toward the weapons locker. If they want to board us, we can make them pay for it. Wait, Hyun said. He was thinking fast. A direct fight would only get his people killed. But maybe there was another way. Everyone stay calm. I have an idea. The alien ship pulled alongside the new Soul. It was twice as large and covered with weapon ports. Strange markings covered its dark hull. Hyun had never seen anything like it. The communication system came to life again. The same voice as before spoke with cruel amusement. Human vessel, your engines are disabled. You cannot run. You cannot fight. I am Commander Zethmok of the Vorthak Empire. You have been chosen for the sacred hunt. Hyun stepped forward to the communication panel. He made his voice shake with fear. It was not hard to do. Please, we are just miners. We have families. We have done nothing wrong. Laughter came from the speakers. It was a harsh alien sound that made everyone on the bridge uncomfortable. Your guilt or innocence does not matter, human. You are prey now. The hunt has ancient rules. You will be given time to hide. Then my warriors will find you and kill you for sport. Hyun continued to play the terrified captain. How much time? Please, we need more time to prepare. We are not warriors. You amuse me, human. Very well. You have 2 rotations of your home planet to hide yourselves. That is 48 of your hours. Use this time well. It will be your last. The transmission ended. Hyun immediately dropped the frightened act. His crew looked at him with surprise. They had never seen their captain beg before. Sir, what are you doing? Jiwoo asked. Buying us time, Hyun replied, and making them think we are helpless. Sujin, can you restore power without them noticing? The engineer was already working on her control panel. I can reroute through the backup systems. It will take about an hour, but they should not detect it. Do it. Taeho, start plotting. Courses to every asteroid, moon, and space station within range. Captain, Dr. Yuna said quietly. What is Protocol 7? Every member of the crew went silent. Protocol 7 was a defensive plan created by the Human Colonial Defense Force. It was only used when a ship had no other options. Most civilians had never heard of it. Where did you hear that term? Hyun asked. You mentioned it in your sleep during the medical check last month. You seem to be having a nightmare. Hyun looked around at his crew. These people trusted him with their lives. They deserved to know the truth. I was not always a mining captain, he said. Before I came to civilian service, I spent 10 years in the Colonial Defense Force. Protocol 7 is what we do when surrender means death and fighting means death. What do we do? Jiwoo asked. We make them think they are hunting sheep. Then we show them they are hunting wolves. Over the next hour, Sujin worked quietly to restore their systems. She was careful to hide her work from alien sensors. Power came back gradually to different parts of the ship. Taeho studied star charts and navigation data. He found 3 possible hiding places within their range: a small moon with caves, an asteroid field with good cover, and an abandoned mining station. Dr. Yuna prepared the medical bay for casualties. She also began studying everything the ship's computer had about alien biology. If they were going to fight, she needed to know their enemies' weaknesses. Jiwoo checked their supplies and weapons. The new Soul was not a warship, but it carried mining explosives, cutting tools, and emergency firearms. In the right hands, mining equipment could become deadly weapons. Captain, Sujin called softly, I have power back to the engines. The aliens do not seem to notice. Good work. How are our communications? Working, but they are probably listening. Hyun nodded. He activated the ship's internal communications system to speak to the whole crew. All hands, this is the captain. Our situation is serious but not hopeless. We are going to the old mining station in the Kepler belt. Everyone knows the drill for emergency situations. Stay calm, work together, and follow orders. He switched off the communication and turned to his bridge crew. That message was for them, too, he said quietly. Let them think we are running to hide in an old station. Taeho, set course for the mining station, but go slow. Make it look like our engines are damaged. Yes, sir. The new Soul began moving toward the distant mining station. It limped through space like a wounded animal seeking shelter. Behind them, the alien ship followed at a comfortable distance. Commander Zethmok was pleased. The humans were acting exactly as expected. They were running to hide in some old human structure. His warriors would enjoy hunting them through corridors and rooms. It would be good practice for younger members of the hunting party. He did not know that Captain Hyun had served on 3 different battleships during the colony wars. He did not know that engineer Sujin had built defensive systems for military bases. He did not know that Dr. Yuna had studied alien biology for the Colonial Intelligence Service. Most importantly, he did not know that humans had learned something important during their expansion into space. When cornered by predators, humans did not lie down and die. They became predators themselves. The mining station grew larger on their screens. It looked abandoned and harmless. Perfect bait for overconfident hunters. "All stations report ready, Captain," Ji-woo said. Hyun smiled grimly. "Then let's give these aliens a lesson they will never forget." The hunt was about to begin, but who was hunting whom remained to be seen. The mining station floated in space like a metal skeleton. It had been abandoned for 5 years when the ore ran out. Captain Lee Hyun knew this station well. He had worked here as a young engineer before joining the military. "Docking complete," Pilot Tae-ho reported. "We are sealed to docking port 3. "Good. Everyone knows their positions." Hyun looked around the bridge at his crew. "Remember, they think we are scared miners hiding in an old station. Let's keep it that way until it's too late for them to change their minds." The crew moved quickly through the station's empty corridors. Their footsteps echoed in the darkness. Emergency lights cast strange shadows on the walls. It felt like a haunted place. Engineer Soo-jin carried a heavy bag of tools and spare parts. She knew exactly where she was going. "Captain, the main power. Junction is on level 3. Give me 30 minutes and I can turn this whole station into a maze of surprises." "You have 20 minutes, Hyun said. "They will not wait long." Dr. Yuna set up her medical station in the old cafeteria. She also laid out several small devices that looked like medical scanners. They were actually something else entirely. Security. Chief Ji-woo and maintenance worker Oh Min-ho disappeared into the lower levels. They carried bags full of mining explosives and cutting tools. The station had many places to hide surprises for unwelcome visitors. Tae-ho remained at the docking port to monitor the alien ship. Through the station's old sensors, he could see the Vorthak vessel moving closer. "Captain," he called over the communication system. "They are preparing to board us. I count 6 heat signatures moving toward their shuttle bay." "Copy that." "Everyone, in position." Hyun made his way to the station's control room. It was located in the center of the structure with a good view of all the main corridors. From here, he could coordinate his team's movements. The alien shuttle landed in the station's main docking bay with a heavy thud. 6 Vorthak warriors stepped out wearing dark armor and carrying energy weapons. They were tall and muscular with reptilian features. Their eyes glowed in the dim light. Commander Zethmok spoke to his warriors in their own language. Then he switched to human speech for the hidden prey to hear. "Human cowards, we know you are here. The great hunt begins now. You have nowhere to run. We will find you and kill you slowly for our amusement." His warriors spread out through the station like experienced hunters. They moved in pairs, covering each other as they searched room by room. These were not young soldiers. They had hunted many different species across the galaxy. What they did not know was that Soo-jin had spent the last 20 minutes rewiring the station's systems. Every door, every light, every sensor was now under her control. The first pair of warriors entered the residential section. The lights went out suddenly, leaving them in complete darkness. They activated night vision equipment and continued forward. A door slammed shut behind them. Then another door slammed shut in front of them. They were trapped in a narrow corridor. "What is happening?" one warrior asked in their language. Before his partner could answer, a section of the ceiling collapsed. It was not designed to kill them, only to slow them down and make them nervous. But one warrior was pinned under debris and could not move. In the control room, Hyun watched it all on the security cameras. "First contact," he said quietly into his communicator. "Soo-jin, that was perfect." "Just getting started, Captain." The second pair of warriors was moving through the industrial section when the floor began to vibrate. Mining equipment that had been left in the station suddenly came to life. Conveyor belts started moving, carrying old ore toward processing machines. The warriors tried to cross a conveyor belt and found themselves being carried toward a rock crusher. They jumped clear just in time, but now they were separated and confused. Dr. Yuna was watching from her hidden position. She activated one of her devices. It sent out a high-frequency sound that human ears could not detect. But the Vorthak warriors suddenly grabbed their heads in pain. "What is that noise?" one warrior screamed. The sound got louder. The aliens stumbled around holding their ears. Their coordination was completely lost. The third pair of warriors was approaching the control room where Hyun waited. They were being more careful now, checking every corner and doorway. Ji-woo was ready for them. He had placed explosive charges in several locations. As the warriors passed under a support beam, he triggered the first charge. The explosion shook the entire station. The warriors were thrown to the ground, but their armor protected them from serious injury. However, the passage behind them was now blocked by fallen metal beams. "They are trying to trap us," one warrior said. "Impossible," his partner replied. "These are weak humans. They do not have the courage to fight us directly." Oh, Minho proved him wrong a moment later. The maintenance worker had been moving through the station's ventilation system like a ghost. He dropped down behind the warriors and fired a mining laser at their equipment. The beam cut through their communication devices and damaged their weapons. Before they could react, he disappeared back into the ventilation shaft. Commander Zethmok was growing angry. His warriors were supposed to be hunting frightened prey, not fighting an organized defense. He decided to take direct action. "All warriors report your positions," he commanded. Only 3 of his 6 warriors responded. The others were either trapped or unconscious. "This is impossible," he growled. "They are just humans." Taeho heard this over the communication system. He had been monitoring alien transmissions from his position at the docking port. "Captain, their leader is getting frustrated. I think he's about to do something stupid." "Good," Hyun replied. "Angry enemies make mistakes. Everyone prepare for Phase 2. In the medical station, Dr. Yuna mixed several chemicals together. The result was a gas that was harmless to humans, but would cause serious problems for Vorthak. Breathing systems. She released the gas into the station's air circulation system. Within minutes, it would spread throughout the entire structure. The remaining Vorthak warriors began coughing and wheezing. Their night vision equipment stopped working properly. They stumbled through corridors that seemed to shift and change around them. Commander Zethmok realized that his mighty hunting party was being systematically defeated by creatures he had considered easy prey. For the first time in his long career, he felt something he had never experienced before: fear. Commander Zethmok staggered through the mining station's corridors. The gas Dr. Yuna had released made his eyes water and his throat burn. His warriors were scattered throughout the station, most of them trapped or injured. This was not how hunts were supposed to go. The prey was supposed to cower in fear while mighty Vorthak warriors stalked them like the predators they were. Instead, his hunting party was being picked apart by clever traps and coordinated attacks. "Report," he commanded into his communicator. Static answered him. The humans had somehow jammed his communications with his ship. His warriors could not call for backup. They were alone in this metal maze with creatures who seemed to know every secret passage and hidden room. In the control room, Captain Hyun watched the alien commander stumble around on the security cameras. The man who had seemed so confident and cruel now looked lost and desperate. "Soo-jin, how are our guests doing?" he asked quietly. "2 warriors are completely trapped in the residential section. 1 is unconscious from the sonic attack. The other 3 are having trouble breathing and their equipment keeps malfunctioning. And their leader?" Moving toward the central hub. "I think he's trying to find us." Hyun smiled grimly. "Then let's make sure he finds more than he bargained for." Engineer Soo-jin had turned the abandoned mining station into a technological nightmare for the invaders. Every system worked together to confuse and disorient them. Lights flickered on and off in patterns that hurt Vorthak eyes. Sounds played from speakers hidden throughout the structure, making it impossible to tell where the humans actually were. The mining equipment had been converted into weapons. Ore crushers became traps. Conveyor belts carried unwary warriors into dead ends. Magnetic fields designed for moving metal ore now interfered with alien electronics. Oh Minho had spent years maintaining this station before it closed. He knew every pipe, every wire, every hidden access tunnel. He moved through the structure, like a ghost, appearing just long enough to sabotage alien equipment or lead warriors into carefully prepared ambushes. One Vorthak warrior tried to follow him into a maintenance shaft. The tunnel was too small for the alien's bulky armor. He got stuck halfway through and could not move forward or backward. "Help me," he called to his partner. But his partner was dealing with his own problems. The floor beneath his feet had suddenly become electrified, not enough to kill, but enough to make every step painful and difficult. Dr. Yuna monitored the situation from her medical station. Her background in alien biology was proving very useful. She had identified several weaknesses in Vorthak physiology and was exploiting each one. The sonic weapon she had built caused extreme discomfort to their hearing. The gas mixture disrupted their breathing and vision. Even the lighting in the station was calibrated to frequencies that made them feel sick and disoriented. "Captain," she reported, "their stress levels are extremely high. Heart rates elevated, breathing irregular. They are experiencing what humans would call panic." "Perfect. Keep the pressure on them." Security Chief Jiwoo had set up his own surprises throughout the station. His military experience showed in the way he had positioned explosive charges and created kill zones. But he was not trying to kill the aliens, only to capture or disable them. A trapped enemy was more useful than a dead one. Living prisoners could provide information about alien technology and intentions. Dead enemies just created more enemies. He watched through a hidden camera as Commander Zethmok approached one of his carefully prepared areas. The alien leader was breathing heavily and moving cautiously. His confidence was completely gone. The trap was simple but effective. When Zethmok stepped on a particular floor panel, gravity nets dropped from the ceiling. These were the same nets used to capture asteroids for mining. They were strong enough to hold a small moon in place. The commander was immediately tangled in the nearly invisible mesh. The more he struggled, the tighter it became. His weapons were useless against the flexible material. "Got him," Jiwoo reported. "Excellent work, everyone," Hyun said. "Now for Phase 3. Pilot Taeho had been monitoring the alien ship from the docking port. He had also been very busy during the battle. Using his piloting skills and knowledge of spacecraft systems, he had been studying the Vorthak vessel's design. "Captain, I found something interesting about their ship," he reported. "It has the same basic design as other vessels in our database. I think I can figure out how to operate it." "Are you sure?" 80% sure, maybe 90%. The control systems are more advanced, but the basic principles are the same. Hyun considered this information. Capturing the alien ship would be a major victory. It would give humans access to advanced technology and provide valuable intelligence about the Vorthak Empire. "Do it," he decided. "But be careful. There might be more aliens on board." Taeho made his way carefully through the docking tube that connected the mining station to the alien vessel. He carried a small device that Soo-jin had built to disrupt electronic systems. The Vorthak ship was impressive inside. The corridors were wide and tall, built for a larger species than humans. Strange symbols covered the walls, probably writing in their language. Everything had a dark, predatory appearance. He found the bridge without encountering any crew members. The ship had been left running on automatic systems while the hunting party searched the station. This was a mistake that would cost them dearly. The control panels were complex, but Taeho's pilot training helped him understand the basic functions. He activated the device Soo-jin had given him and watched as alien systems began to shut down one by one. First, the weapons went offline. Then the communication array stopped working. Finally, the engines powered down completely. The mighty Vorthak warship was now as helpless as the human mining vessel had been earlier. "Ship secured," Tae-ho reported. "They are not going anywhere." Back. In the station, the remaining Vorthak warriors were finally surrendering. The gas, the noise, the traps, and the constant pressure had broken their will to fight. These proud predators who had terrorized other species across the galaxy were defeated by a small crew of human miners. Commander Zethmok hung in his gravity net, no longer struggling. His eyes showed something that had never been there before: respect for his prey. "How?" he asked when Hyun approached him. "How did weak humans defeat Vorthak warriors?" Hyun looked at the alien commander with calm eyes. "We are not weak. We are just different. You hunt for sport. We fight for survival. You expected scared prey. You found determined defenders. This is impossible. Humans are primitive creatures. Our intelligence report said you have no real military capability. Your intelligence reports were wrong. We learned long ago that in a hostile universe, every human must be ready to fight. Every ship must be ready to defend itself. Every crew must work together to survive." Dr. Yuna approached, carrying her medical scanner. "Captain, I can treat their injuries if you want them healthy for questioning." "Do it, but keep them sedated. I don't want any more surprises." As the doctor worked on the captured aliens, Hyun contacted his crew members throughout the station. "All teams report. Casualties? Minor injuries only," came the replies. "All humans accounted for and in good condition." "Outstanding work, everyone. We have given these predators a lesson they will not forget. But our job is not finished yet." Commander Zethmok woke up in what had been the mining station's security office. His arms were bound with the same gravity net material that had trapped him. Dr. Yuna had treated his injuries, but he was still dizzy from the gas she had used. "Captain." Hyun sat across from him in a simple metal chair. The human looked calm and relaxed, nothing like the terrified prey Zethmok had expected to hunt. "You are awake? Good. We need to talk." The Vorthak commander tried to pull against his bonds, but the gravity net held firm. "You cannot hold me forever, human. My empire will send search parties." "Will they?" Hyun asked quietly. "Your ship is not responding to their calls. Your warriors are captured. As far as your empire knows, you simply disappeared while hunting in deep space. These things happen." Zethmok felt a chill that had nothing to do with the station's temperature. He was beginning to understand that his situation was much worse than he had thought. "What do you want?" he asked. "Information. Your ship's navigation charts, communication, frequencies, military capabilities, everything you know about Vorthak operations in this sector." "I will tell you nothing." Hyun stood up and walked to the small window that looked out into space. "That is your choice. But let me explain your situation. Your ship is disabled. Your crew is captured. Your empire thinks you are missing, not captured." He turned back to face the alien commander. "I could space you right now, and no one would ever know what happened. Or I could keep you as a prisoner for the rest of your very long life. Or, what? Or you could help me send a message to your people." Zethmok's eyes narrowed. "What kind of message?" "The kind that might save lives on both sides." In the station's engineering section, Su-Jin was working on the captured Vorthak technology. She had never seen anything so advanced. But human engineering principles still applied. Every machine had basic functions that could be understood and copied. "Captain," she called over the communication system, "I have been studying their weapon systems. Very impressive, but not impossible to defend against. I think I can build countermeasures." "Good work. What about their ship?" "Tae-ho is teaching me their control systems. We should be able to fly it within a few hours." Pilot Tae-ho was indeed learning to operate the alien vessel. His natural skill with spacecraft served him well, even with unfamiliar technology. The ship's computer systems were complex but logical. He had discovered something interesting in the ship's databases. The Vorthak kept detailed records of every hunt they conducted, species profiles, hunting tactics, casualty reports. It was like a catalog of galactic civilizations they had terrorized. "Captain," he reported, "you need to see this. The Vorthak have been hunting dozens of different species. Most of them never fought back effectively, but there are a few exceptions." "Show me." Tejo transferred the data to Huon's personal communicator. The files showed that 3 other species had successfully resisted Vorthak hunting parties in the past 50 years. In each case, the aliens had adapted their tactics and eventually overwhelmed the defenders. But something was different about the human encounter. The Vorthak had never faced prey that fought back so systematically and effectively. Their entire hunting philosophy was based on superior technology and physical strength. They had no experience with enemies who used intelligence and cooperation as weapons. Dr. Yuna finished examining the captured Vorthak warriors. Their injuries were not serious, mostly cuts and bruises from the traps and falls. But their psychological state was interesting. "Captain, these warriors are exhibiting signs of severe stress. Their entire worldview has been challenged. They believed they were the ultimate predators, but we defeated them using methods they cannot understand." "How long before they recover?" "Physically, they are fine now. Mentally, that might take much longer. Some of them may never fully recover their confidence." Security Chief Jiwoo had been interrogating the lower-ranking warriors. Unlike their commander, some of them were willing to talk in exchange for better treatment. "They are scared, Captain," he reported. "Word of this defeat will spread throughout their empire. It will damage their reputation as invincible hunters." "That is exactly what I am counting on," Hyun said. He returned to the security office where Zethmok waited. The alien commander looked older somehow, as if the defeat had aged him rapidly. "Have you decided?" Hyun asked. "Decided what?" "Whether you want to help me send that message to your empire." Zethmok was quiet for a long moment. When he finally spoke, his voice was different, less arrogant, more thoughtful. "What message do you want to send?" "The truth. That you encountered a human vessel. That you attempted to hunt the crew for sport. That you were defeated and captured by miners and engineers who had never been trained for combat. My people will never believe such a story. They will if it comes from you. They will if they see the evidence. Your ship disabled, your warriors captured, your mighty hunting party completely outmaneuvered by creatures you thought were weak prey." Hyun sat down again. "Or they might choose not to believe it. They might think you are lying to save face. Either way, word will spread. Other species will hear about it. The galaxy will know that Vorthak hunters are not invincible." The alien commander closed his eyes. Everything he had believed about his species' superiority was crumbling. The humans had not just defeated his hunting party, they had humiliated it. "What do you gain by sending such a message?" he asked. "Peace, maybe. If your people realize that, humans are not easy prey, they might decide to hunt elsewhere. If they choose to send more hunting parties, at least other humans will be warned and prepared. And if I refuse, then you disappear forever and your empire never learns what really happened here. They might send more hunting parties to investigate. More humans will die, but so will more Vorthak. The cycle continues until one side or the other decides the cost is too high." Zethmok opened his eyes and looked directly at the human captain. For the first time, he saw not prey but an equal, maybe even a superior. "You are not what we expected," he said quietly. "No," Hyun agreed. "We are not. The question is, what are you going to do about it?" 3 hours later, Commander Zethmok sat in front of his own ship's communication system. His hands were still bound, but Captain Hyun had allowed him to make contact with the Vorthak Empire. The alien commander's voice was steady, but his eyes showed the weight of what he was about to do. This message would change everything for his people. This is Commander Zethmok of the hunting vessel Dark Talon. I am broadcasting on all Imperial frequencies with an urgent report. On the screen, various Vorthak officials appeared. Military commanders, hunting masters, and government leaders all wanted to hear why one of their best hunting parties had gone silent for so long. "Commander, report your status," came the reply. From High Command, Zethmok looked at Captain Hyun, who nodded encouragingly. The human captain stood just out of camera range, watching carefully. "High Command, I must report a complete mission failure. My hunting party encountered human prey and was decisively defeated. All warriors captured, ship disabled, mission objectives. Failed. Silence filled the communication channel. Then angry voices began shouting at once. "Impossible! Humans are weak prey! You must be mistaken!" Zethmok waited for the voices to quiet down. "I am not mistaken. The humans we encountered were not weak prey. They were clever, organized, and extremely dangerous. They turned our own hunt against us." He began to describe the battle in detail, how the humans had pretended to be helpless while actually setting elaborate traps, how they had used their knowledge of technology and psychology to defeat superior numbers and weapons. "They did not fight like prey," he concluded. "They fought like predators, better predators than us." High Command was not pleased. "Commander, you will return immediately for debriefing and disciplinary action." "I cannot return, High Command. My ship is disabled and my crew is captured. I am speaking to you as a prisoner of the humans." Captain Hyun stepped into camera range. Several Vorthak officials hissed at the sight of a human in their communication channel. "I am Captain Lee Hyun of the Human Colonial Fleet," he said calmly. "Your commander and his warriors attempted to hunt my crew for sport. They failed. They are now my prisoners." "Impossible!" one official shouted. "Humans do not have the capability to defeat Vorthak hunters." "Your intelligence is outdated," Hyun replied. "We are not the primitive creatures you think we are. We have learned to defend ourselves very well." He activated a data transfer that Sujin had prepared. "I am sending you complete records of this encounter. Video footage, sensor data, tactical analysis. Study it carefully." The data showed everything. The human deception, the systematic defeat of each Vorthak warrior, the capture of their ship and crew. It was undeniable proof that humans were far more dangerous than anyone had believed. "What do you want, human?" High Command asked finally. "Simple. Leave us alone. Find other prey to hunt if you must hunt. But understand that humans will always fight back, and we are very good at it." Hyun paused, then continued in a harder tone. "This is your only warning. The next Vorthak hunting party that targets humans will not be treated so gently. We have studied your technology now. We know your weaknesses. We will be ready." The communication ended. Commander Zethmok slumped in his chair, exhausted by the ordeal. "It is done," he said quietly. "My career is over. My reputation is destroyed. My people will call me a failure and a coward." "Maybe," Hyun agreed. "Or maybe they will call you the commander who saved them from a war they could not win." Over the following weeks, word of the encounter spread throughout the galaxy. The story grew with each telling, but the basic facts remained the same. A small crew of human miners had defeated an elite Vorthak hunting party. Other species that had suffered under Vorthak predation took notice. If humans could fight back successfully, maybe they could too. Several civilizations began developing their own defense strategies based on human tactics. The Vorthak Empire found itself facing a new reality. Their reputation as invincible hunters was damaged, possibly beyond repair. Some species they had, terrorized for decades, were now organizing resistance movements. Captain Hyun and his crew were reassigned to the Human Colonial Defense Force. Their mining days were over. Now they traveled throughout human space, training other crews in defensive tactics. The new Sol was repaired and upgraded with new technology, reverse-engineered from the captured Vorthak ship. It became a training vessel, teaching civilians how to turn their ships into fortresses when necessary. Engineer Su Jin became an expert in alien technology adaptation. Her techniques for converting civilian equipment into weapons were taught at military academies throughout human space. Dr. Yuna used her research on Vorthak biology to develop new non-lethal weapons designed specifically for use against alien predators. Her work helped level the playing field between humans and physically superior species. Pilot Tae-ho became one of the first humans qualified to operate captured alien spacecraft. He helped establish a new division of the colonial fleet dedicated to reverse engineering alien technology. Security Chief Ji Woo wrote the definitive manual on defensive tactics for civilian spacecraft. His book became required reading for anyone commanding a ship in deep space. Commander Zethmok was eventually returned to his people in a prisoner exchange. His detailed reports on human capabilities helped prevent many other hunting parties from making the same mistake. He spent his remaining years teaching younger Vorthak about the dangers of underestimating prey. The mining station where the battle took place was converted into a memorial and training facility. Young humans came there to learn about their species, capacity for survival and resistance. A simple plaque was mounted in the control room where Captain Hyun had coordinated the defense. It read, "Here humans learned that predators can become prey, and prey can become predators, when survival depends on courage and intelligence." The galaxy was a different place after that encounter. Species that had seemed weak and defenseless were revealed to have hidden strengths. Predators learned to be more careful about choosing their prey. But most importantly, humans earned a new reputation throughout the stars. They were no longer seen as primitive creatures ripe for exploitation. They were recognized as a species that would fight for their survival with every tool at their disposal. The message was clear. If you hunt humans, be prepared for them to hunt you back. And humans, as the galaxy was learning, were very good hunters indeed.